Greetings and welcome to the show. I am your host, Flye Books, and today I'm with author Winifred R. Banks, and she is the author of The Big White House on the Hill. Thank you so much for being here, Winifred.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, very welcome. So why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Well, I'm married. I have 3 kids. I have 8 natural grandkids, and I have a whole lot of step grandkids. And I'm a certified nurse's assistant.
You brought in an article from the Florida Flambeau from 1987. Is when you originally started with this book. So what do you think took so long to get that published? From 1987, this is the Florida Flambeau. This is a weekly, I think, paper that used to come out in Tallahassee, Florida. But from 1987, Local Woman Puts Painful Life on Paper. And here we are in 2013. Well, you published it in 2008 it was published.
Yeah, 2008.
What took so long from 87 to then?
Because I was sending it to different publishing companies, and just at the time I had gotten it copywritten, but I was trying to get a publisher. I was seeking publishers. That was before they came out with the self-made publishers. Now, you can publish, you can publish your own books and stuff like that. But that was when you had to go and literally go out and look for publishers. And then I even wrote Oprah, and all I was trying to do is to find out how to go about getting my book published. I didn't want no handout. I was looking at for a hand, somebody to help me to show me how to get it published. So I was sending out to different publishing companies, and then some of them would respond, and then they say, well, we charge like $600 to $800, or we charge $10,000, and I'm going like, I can't.
Correct.
I don't have this kind of money.
Right.
So I had put it on the back burner for a while. But the pastor of our church, he preached a sermon one time. He said, activate your dream. And so my dream was to get my book published. And so, but unfortunately, it took so long. So when I really decided to go ahead and do something about it was in 2007. That's when I pulled it out of the closet and dusted the dust off it, and then really went out and started recruiting publishers. And so it so happened that one of the members of my church said, well, Winifred, I know a lady who published books you may see, because I had made an announcement in church. If anyone knew anything about publishing and how to go about getting a book published, let me know. And so she stepped to me one Sunday after church, and she told me that she knew this lady who published books, and she's pretty reasonable. And so I called her, and true enough, that's how
you met Barbara
yes.
Williams of Money Publishing.
And it started from there.
Do you think that writing this book was a way for you to purge whatever pain that you went through in the past? And if so, how did it do that?
Well, it started out because I was just trying to get my frustration down on paper. I didn't have anyone that I could strike, what you might say, strike out at. And so it was just, I was just wondering why everything seemed bad happened to me, and it started from there.
How were you affected by the abuse growing up? Do you think that it affected you into your adulthood?
No, I wouldn't say that it affected me to my adulthood, because I don't do to my children or to my grandchildren what was done to me. I use more or less what happened to me as the opposite of what I do. As the opposite of what I do. Exactly,
because you do say that in the end, after everything that your aunt put you through, you do say in the end that you don't have any regrets. I love my aunt, and to this day I still miss her very much. I know that Mama loved me too, and if it hadn't been for my adverse childhood with her, I might not have found Jesus Christ later in life. So you really think that that was a path to you discovering Christianity and discovering Jesus?
Yes, because it teaches me what Jesus can bring a person through. To trust God, and no matter no matter what difficult time they have in their life, there's something good at the end. It all depends on how a person take it. How they live their life. You either be positive or negative.
That's
take
true.
the negative road, you end up either perhaps in prison or dead, but take the positive road, you can be here to talk about it like,
Exactly.
like I am.
What do you think kept you from going down that negative path?
When I started having my children, when I had my son, it was like us for a while, and I had to take care of him. I had to take care of him, so it had to be a level head somewhere, and I had to be both the male and the female version of a role model for him.
Right.
And it was about my son.
So this is your son that you write about in the book. Okay, very good, very good, very good. Now I know the issue of teenage pregnancy came up because you had your son when you were a teenager. How do you feel, today, I know you said in the book, back then, it was viewed very negatively, for a teenager to have a child, but today, I mean, women are having children, by themselves, or they're having children as teenagers.
I think it's more open now than it was back then. And back then, it was still going on, but it wasn't going on as openly as it is now. It was teenage pregnancies back then, but it wasn't. It was so rare. It was, nobody. Because at the time when I grew up, it was small, and pretty much everybody, like I said in my book, everybody knew each other. And at that time, when I was having my son, it was only very few amongst the blacks that was pregnant, and then once you get pregnant and have a child, you couldn't go back to public school. It was out. So that's why I said, but now, kids, teenagers get pregnant, they have babies, they still stay in school, and then they still, just like, it's nothing to do. It's just normal for kids to have babies at this age, at an early age now.
Do you think it's better though that they are allowed to go to schools, and you think that's kind of agreeing with children having children?
I don't approve of it, but it's the kids. They still got to get education. That's good. They still want to stay in school and get their education. Exactly. So I guess that's a good thing. Exactly.
Now I know in the book you deal with forgiveness. And eventually, and my question is, how did you forgive? How did you learn to forgive your aunt and your mom?
Because the first week I left her, I was alone in a strange town, and I missed her because I was so used to her not being, I was so used to her not being around. And that I just missed her. I missed her. I was glad to get out. At that time, I was glad to get out. But I didn't realize how much I would miss her until after I had left.
Wow. And to some people, they kind of look at that like, well, how would you miss this person who was so abusive?
It's painful. It was painful, but what she did because she felt like she was doing the right thing. And I found out later on that a lot of the things that had happened to me was out of love, and because it's something I could have did but I didn't do. The main thing with my aunt and me was I didn't find out really until after as you would call it, when I was talking to her in the car. That's when she really laid it on the line as to why she did what she did, and I'm going like, all these years, it took all I had to do was just like tell the truth. And she told me, she said that whatever you do in life, be good at it. Whatever you do in life, always be good at it. And you got whipped, I beat you because you weren't good at what you do. You're a liar, but you're not a good liar. And so that's what really caused me to get so much. Her fierceness in her discipline was because of the fact that I lied. So she told me more or less, if I hadn't just tell her the truth, that's how come I tell my children right now, whatever you do, don't lie to me.
Exactly.
And that's what it was with her. It was all about, I lied. I could have saved myself millions of sleepless nights, of soreness, of painful, because if I just had told the truth.
Exactly.
But then by the time I really found out about this, it was it was too late.
Have you received any backlash from the family? Have you had your family members to read the book, and have you had anyone to respond either positively or negatively? You know, because usually when you're putting something out there about the family, you know, you might have some people that view that positively, or, you know, why did you write about our family? Why did you put all of that out there? Did you experience that?
Well, right now, well, my husband, he gives me good support. He tells me, you know, he tells me I should write another book. For my family that was involved in the book, we're not really that close anymore, so you know, it's not no contact. But my son, he read it and he told me that it was great. It was a good job. My mom, on the other hand, she read it and she was saying, like, when I didn't know Aunt Ella was I didn't know Aunt Ella was like that. And I'm looking at her like, yes, you did.
Right.
But they really haven't really talked down or nothing toward it. They've given me they pretty much backing me. And my daughter, she's been pushing me. She has helped me, support me a lot. And my husband, like I said, my husband, she's backing me 100%.
Well, you always need somebody there, you know, to give you that support and give you someone you can trust and someone you can go to and bounce ideas off of. So that is definitely a great thing. And what advice would you give to upcoming authors, because you did go through that process of trying to find a publisher and seeing how much money it costs to get it published? What advice would you give them with that whole publishing process? Would you advise trying to find a publisher or self-publishing it on your own?
Well, but I would really, right now, I would say self-publishing, because, you know, it's cheaper, plus you have hands-on at doing your own, you know, your own work, and
you retain that creative license for your own.
And so, I would say just go for it. You know, activate your dream.
Definitely, definitely.
If this is something you really want to do, then do what it takes. You know, to get it accomplished.
To get it. How does it feel though? Like, what was your first reaction when you got it? when you actually had it in your hand?
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you. God is glory.
Yes,
God is glory.
definitely. So, Winifred, what's next for you? What's coming up next?
I want to get this to the next level. My next level would be a screenplay movie.
Oh wow!
That's what I want. That's why you come in. So that's what I want to do. You know about it. You do screenplays and movies or something like that. This is what I want to do with this. This is take it to the next level.
Well, we can definitely talk about that, right?
Going to see, you know, people, Ms. Blake, a lot of people, they'll go see they won't buy a book, but they will go see a movie.
That's correct.
And so and then if they see the movie of the Big White House and actually get an idea of what really went on, then they'll maybe perhaps be pushed by the book.
Definitely, and possibly I could see it, you know, as starting as a stage play.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what Tyler Perry does. You know, he takes his works, puts them on the stage, and then eventually they do become the movie.
So always, like I said, always have a goal. I mean, have a vision. This is my vision. To see my book at the Civic Center, the big down showing the Big White House on the hill.
The Big White House on the hill. Where can we purchase a copy of your book? How would someone go about purchasing a copy of your book?
You can contact me at winifredbanks@ymail.com.
And they just contact you there and just, you know, I guess.
Just when and where, and I'll make sure that.
And you ship it and everything?
Yeah.
You ship it out to them?
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Well, Winifred, it was a pleasure to sit down and speak with you today. I really enjoyed this book. I think it was very well written. It really was. I think it would be an inspiration to anyone that has gone through any type of abuse. And I definitely would recommend this book to anyone, whether you've gone through abuse or not. I think it's a great book, and I just think it's very inspirational. And I appreciate you for writing it, and to know that, you know, from 1987, you know, that you started this journey. And that's just a testament to perseverance. Yeah. And you have to persevere, and you have to have that faith that you can what? Activate your dreams.
Yes.
Activate your dreams, definitely. So thank you so much for coming.
Well,
Definitely.
thank you for
You're
having me.
very welcome. And thank you all for tuning in to Flye Books, and peace.